Ricky the Bilingue Vlogs. Thank you guys for tuning in to another video. If you're a subscriber, I appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and consider subscribing. I have some good information, some good tips for you guys, and a lot of stuff to get you learning Spanish. So, if that's your goal, you want to be fluent in Spanish, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you can get the notifications whenever I upload a new video. Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about, as the title says, how to retain what you learn in Spanish. This doesn't have to be just in Spanish, but my channel is about English and Spanish, learning both of those languages, so I'm going to relate it to Spanish. But you can use this in anything that you want to in life. Alright, so guys, I thought out ways that people can retain things. And there are a few things first that we have to consider, that we have to think about, that we have to already be doing. First of all, the first thing is, are you taking notes? When you learn something, are you taking notes? And I'm not talking about just writing them down on your computer or screenshotting something and reading it over and over. No, are you actually physically taking notes with your pen and paper? Now, when you write something down versus when you just look at it, it sticks with you more. It sticks with you more. So are you writing out your notes? That's number one. Number two, how much time are you putting into this? Now, when you're learning a language should be a lifestyle. A language should be a lifestyle. Those are like the prerequisite things. Now let's get to what you actually have to do to retain. Now, the first thing you have to think about, after you're already doing those things, I want you to think about this. What is your learning style? What is your learning style? If you don't know your learning style, then most likely you're just learning based off of how they taught you in school. You know, somebody teaches you something and you regurgitate it, or you may cram the heck out of a grammar book and think, okay, well now I know all this, I've read all of it, so now I must know it. No. You have to know your learning style, okay? So are you more of an auditory person? Are you more of the kinesthetic learner? Do you learn by seeing? Like, how do you learn? You have to, once you know that, you can shape your study pattern, shape your study methods around your learning style, so that way you're not wasting your time reading something when you should be writing it, or reading something when you should be listening to it. Now, I'm not saying that reading is bad, but if you're a better auditory learner than you are a visual learner, then you should spend a lot of time listening to stuff, if that's how it sits in your head better. Me, I think I'm a mixture of all types of learners, so I do all of them. And I recommend that you guys do all of them too, but the main focus should be on your best style of learning, okay? So after that, after you have your learning style, you need to be constantly reviewing. You know, you're learning new stuff, yes. You learn new stuff maybe every week or every 2 weeks or whatever. Learn something new, yes. But don't just learn that new thing and just review that only. Go back to what you learned 3 weeks ago and review that, so that way you won't lose it. And this is for people who are having trouble remembering, because I get this question a lot. So if you're having trouble remembering, maybe it's because you're not reviewing. Even after you think that you learned something, you know, it's obviously not sticking with you well enough. So go back and review that. Maybe you can set up a pattern, like, okay, I'm going to learn 3 new things in 3 different weeks, but every week I learn something, I'm going to go back and study the first thing I learned, then the second thing I learned, then the third thing I learned again, and keep going at that route, you know. Your time spent reviewing can be less and less as you realize that, okay, I'm retaining this, but you got to find some kind of rhythm to where you can review constantly, okay? I'm reading this book called Contagious, and it's about marketing products, marketing things. And one thing that it talks about that I really like, that I would like to share with you guys, is triggers. Triggers meaning when you see something or hear something, it's going to remind you of something else. So I would invite you guys, I would like to tell you guys to find triggers that you can relate to whatever you're learning. I can't tell you how to do it, I can just tell you what to do in this case, because everybody's different. Your triggers are going to be different than my triggers. But there are companies that do this very well, and I would invite you to do this in your learning, in your studies. It will help you out tremendously if you can associate what you're learning with something that you're seeing all the time, or something that's around you. Just make it apply. Make your triggers important to you. That's what really gets us going. If it's important to us, then we're gonna remember it. So if I want to remember I don't know, words. If I want to, let's say I want to retain, so I want to learn the vocabulary for words in the kitchen, like words that I'm going to use when I'm cooking in the kitchen. Then a good way to study that would be to maybe look up my favorite recipe and then like translate in Spanish how to make, using the vocabulary list from the kitchen words, make a recipe in Spanish of my favorite dish. So that way, when I think of my favorite dish, it's like a trigger for these vocabulary words. You have to create triggers for yourself. Another thing is make it fun. So we talk about learning style, but we also need to talk about making it fun. If it's not fun, nobody wants to do it. I mean, that's just how it goes. We are all forced to work jobs that are not fun, so we know how it is to not really care about doing something. But if you do make it fun, then it's like you care about it more. Find a way to make Spanish learning fun to you, whether that's dancing while you learn, or listening to a certain kind of music to get you in the mood. Whatever it is, make it fun for you. I have a video talking about the fun ways to learn vocabulary, but you can also do this to retain vocabulary too. And the last thing that you need to do is you need to consult multiple sources. So for those of you who are learning Spanish or any language or whatever on YouTube, you need to consult multiple sources, because somebody may explain it in a way that you just don't understand. It doesn't mean that you cannot understand that material. It just means that that person did not explain it in a way for you to understand it. But the next person can say the exact words to get it to ring a bell in your head. So if you can find somebody to do that, then what's stopping you? You know, you have to consult multiple sources. Like for example, myself, I know I teach a lot of Spanish stuff. So you may refer to the Ambi Gonzalez or the Why Not Spanish or Butterfly Spanish, all these other things. We're all doing the same stuff. We're teaching Spanish, but we all have our different teaching styles. The way that we talk is different, and it may sit well with you or it may not sit well with you. So consult multiple sources, and this will help things click in your head, and in the long run, it'll help you to retain more information, help you to retain what you're learning. So let me know. Oh, also, there are a few minor things that you can do that can really help you with your retention, just based off of science, based off of how the body works. And one of those things is being physically active. Exercising every day, or 4 or 5 days out of the week, will definitely help your body's capacity to retain stuff. It gets your body running. Think about a car. If you leave a car sitting there for a while, just for like a whole year or something, it's not going to run as well as if you drive it and get the gears going and everything like that. It's going to work better if you use it frequently. Same thing applies there. You need to get your body moving, exercising, so you can do it well. The next thing is taking strategic breaks. So I talked to you guys about, you need to spend enough time studying, but also you don't want to spend way too much time actually studying. Okay? So what I mean is, yes, when you make Spanish a lifestyle, that doesn't mean study all day. That means study for a little bit and put it into practice. Study for a little bit and give yourself a little practice test, or make flashcards, things of that sort. But you also need to go out into the real world and speak. You need to listen, whether that's music, whether that's a podcast. There are many things you can do to study, but there are many things you can do to make it a lifestyle, but studying 24/7 is not going to get you there. So don't cram. Don't cram, but take strategic breaks when you're studying, so that you can retain the information. Another thing you can do is chew gum while you're studying. My anatomy teacher used to always tell me that if I chew gum at home while I study, then he would let me chew gum during the test, because it helps you to remember more. He used to be a doctor, so I took his word for that. I did pretty well in anatomy. I don't know if it was the gum chewing or not, but I was able to retain a lot of stuff, and I still know a lot of stuff based off of what I was taught in that class. And I'm going to attribute it to chewing gum for the sake of this video. Alright, and the last thing you need to do that, it's not an actual learning thing or retention thing, but it's rest. You have to get good rest. You have to get good sleep. If you're not going to get good sleep, your body's not going to work the way that it needs to work. Therefore, it's going to be harder for you to retain things because your brain's not getting that refreshing cycle that it needs to get. Hopefully this video has helped you guys out. If it has, please share it. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and give the video a thumbs up. I hope you guys took notes during this video. As I mentioned before, take notes. Hope you took notes for the stuff that can help you. And let me know how it goes for you. Let me know what do you do, or what did you do that helped you retain what you know now. Maybe I missed something, okay? Anyways, that's all for today, guys. Que Dios me los bendiga.